Hey everyone, how is it going? I am Nuke for Prez and this is Fallout 4 Any Mod, Any Weapon viewer suggestion video number 2. Now since the first viewer suggestion video I've had a lot of suggestions for different weapon types. So I hope you enjoy the video, and it's going to be a long one. There's a lot of weapons to go through, so let's get started. Now firstly I was asked to do something with the syringer. The problem is with the syringer is that when you modify it, it has a tendency to break the weapon. So in the case of this automatic one, you couldn't hit a target for some reason and it didn't consume the ammunition. Also the VATS broke. Also if you use the barrel, then it has a tendency to silence the weapons, which can be useful, but it doesn't actually silence the weapons in game, it just takes away the noise. Now the first suggestion today is the Yin Yang. The Yin Yang is a revolver with a scope and a silencer, and its aim was to fire ice and fire bullets. So what I did to make this weapon was I had a 44, used standard 44 parts until I got to the suppressor, which I added the combat rifle suppressor, and then I used the WMX conversion to give it inferno ammo, which makes it an automatic weapon. I can't get around that, but it actually gives it a really cool animation. And then I used the legendary mod's freezing perk, which gives the weapon ice damage and the ability to freeze on critical hits. Now the final result, the weapon is a bit glitchy. It has a tendency to do what other auto weapons do. When you aim down the sights, it locks the gun into firing, so it'll just keep firing until you press to reload it. You may also notice that the gun shoots really slowly in VATS. I don't know why this is, it does happen with some weapons, so it's better to use it outside of VATS instead. The other issue is that it has a 100 bullet clip, which for a 6-shooter is a bit much. But overall the weapon isn't that bad, and I actually quite like the design. Now I was asked to make a Gauss Rifle that doesn't suck, and I don't really know what to do here because I actually quite like the Gauss Rifle. So what I did was I made a 308 caliber Gauss Rifle, just random design. To make this I used the hunting rifle as a base rifle. I added the combat rifle 308 receiver, laser musket short barrel, combat rifle recoil compensating stock, Gauss Rifle capacitor boosting cell for the magazine, plasma medium scope, and a Gauss Rifle compensator, and then I used the conversion from the WMX mod with the Gauss slug, and I added the Furious perk. And the final result is pretty much the same as the Gauss Rifle, but it has a bit more clout with its sound and it just looks a little bit different. Now the next weapon's the Institute Plasma Pistol. This is a variant on the one I added earlier in the week. Someone suggested I should make a pistol version, and I was considering doing that myself anyway, so I just changed the grip to the pistol grip and the barrel to the short barrel. The one difference is that I used the WMX conversion to change the ammo type from fusion cells to plasma, so now it actually uses plasma ammunition as well. And the final result is a different version of the Institute Plasma Rifle, obviously, as a pistol instead. And it pretty much works in the same manner, has the same flaws, with the aiming down the sight, other than that, it's a very good weapon. Now, I was also asked to make a mini nuke sniper rifle. Now, to use the experimental MIRV wouldn't have been very good for this because the MIRV doesn't really have much distance. So I used the WMX mod and converted a 308 combat rifle to shoot mini nukes with the little man conversion. So it uses mini nuke ammo instead. Now the final result is basically a sniper rifle with mini nuke explosions on its bullets, as you can see, and it has a ridiculous distance. It's really good. It's quite strong. It's not overly powered, but it is because it's a mini nuke sniper rifle. But it's a fun weapon to use. It can be a bit dangerous in close range for obvious reasons, so it is great at a good distance. Now the next weapon is an edit to the SMG which I made as a video the other day, where I was suggested to put a longer stock on it, so I used the recoil compensating stock from the submachine gun and add the legendary perk of crippling, which does more limb damage. And the final result is pretty much the same as the original. It has a bit less recoil and has the chance to do more limb damage, obviously, so it's the same weapon as before almost. It's an SMG, so the perk is pretty good. Personally, I like the legendary perk which makes you faster while aiming down the sights. I can't remember the name of it, but I find having the extra mobility while aiming down the sight pretty useful with the SMG because of the lack of damage. I've been asked by a couple of people to use the Lorenzo mod, which, if you don't know what that is, it makes a shockwave effect for the gamma gun. Now, I thought I would make a shotgun with it, and yeah, this design is a bit weird. I just wanted to make a random design, but it is effectively a shotgun, and it is fun to use. You can shoot people flying. It's a great little catapult, and across a distance it can actually hit a wide area. Now, the other suggestion to use the Lorenzo mod was to either put it on a minigun or a flamer. So I put it on a minigun. It's a pretty simple weapon to make if you can't figure out how. You just put a Lorenzo artifact on the minigun. Don't really need to do much else. And the final result is a very, very strong gun. When I actually made it, I nearly blew up my base by just doing a test shot. I ended up blowing up all my power. So it's a pretty strong weapon, and as you can see, it kind of makes mincemeat out of death balls, and when it's done it shoots them flying, just like the shotgun. So it is fun to use. You can shoot corpses around and have a bit of a laugh with it. On the topic of miniguns, I was asked to make a minigun with a sniper scope and sniper barrel. So I used the plasma gun improved sniper barrel, and then I converted the ammunition to a 10mm cylinder so that it wouldn't shoot the plasma bolts instead of bullets. And then I added the long scope from the assault rifle, which gives it the long range sights, giving the final result ridiculously overpowered. It still shoots like a minigun at normal range, so it has a bit of a spread, but then when you aim down the scope sights, the spread of the fire becomes much closer together. It's a much tighter spread, and as you can see on the clip, the difference is quite noticeable. I was also asked to make the deliverer shoot a laser instead of bullets, and originally I tried converting a laser pistol into a deliverer. I changed the whole thing and I ended up with a broken mess in my hands, so the only way I could do this is using the WMX mod and converting it to a laser instead of the 10mm ammo, but it still uses 10mm ammo as its basis. And the final result is obviously a deliverer that shoots a beam. If you want to go all out, you could use the Liberty Prime beam, or you could use the Institute beam. It's up to you which one you would want to use. I just went for the standard red laser for this clip. And it's a nice weapon actually, I quite like this idea. Now this was an interesting suggestion. I was asked to try and make something that looked like the chainsaw blaster from Lollipop Chainsaw. Now I've never played Lollipop Chainsaw and I'd never seen the weapon before, and this was the design I came up with. Although I have some of the clips, I don't use the assault rifle mag, I use the combat shotgun mag because it goes directly underneath the weapon, but it is smaller. And it was the best I could do really. The differences in the weapon styles between the games is I was not going to get a very good result, but I thought I'd post it anyway and just show you what it looked like. Although like I said, I made a Gatling version and I'll show that one as well. And I didn't particularly like this weapon, but I thought I'd post it anyway, and it was a good challenge actually. It was nice to try. I spent a lot of time trying to make it, but it was the best I could do with what I had. And I think the Gatling version is better, even though it doesn't quite work properly. I used the Gatling laser as the basis for the weapon, and used the assault rifle quick drum mag because it automatically went underneath, because when you convert a weapon sometimes it does break it. I also used the Gauss slug conversion because I didn't want to have the beam. I thought I'd go for the Gauss rounds instead. And the weapon is actually quite strong, but it is very broken. Now the final weapon of the video, someone asked me to use the MIRV on a shotgun in the hope that it creates a scatter projectile, but it doesn't, it only ever shoots one projectile. So instead I came up with this version, which I'll show you in a second. Now this is the Nuke Shotgun, and I really like this weapon. Now when you use the Little Man perk on a shotgun, it does the same thing as the MIRV and only shoots one projectile. In the case of the Little Man perk, it shoots one mini nuke across a distance very similar to the way the sniper rifle did earlier in the video. So instead I came up with the Nuke Shotgun, and the Nuke Shotgun uses the Liberty Prime bomb from the WMX mod to create a shotgun that shoots mini nukes in the form of a projectile. I also used the 2-shot perk to get more, and I used the railway rifle as the appearance for the weapon, but in essence it is a shotgun, and it uses the combat shotgun for its basis. And the final result is very deadly up close. It's pretty dangerous. I think every time I shot it up close I ended up crippling myself. But using it across a distance, you can get much more distance than an experimental move, and using it from above and bombing an area is very effective. So all of these were viewer suggestions, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave comments and let me know any suggestions of weapons you want me to try and make for you, and I'll see what I can do. Or if you have any ways to improve these weapons in this video, let me know as well. Alright, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video, so take care.